right. You're so right. You're so right. Hey, 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 hey. What's going on? Hold up, hold up, hold up. Let me make sure I got my volume on up here. Okay, we in the house right now. What's going on, y'all? Shakacia's on the scene. I'm gonna tell y'all it's a struggle. I was contemplating not doing it again. I don't know what the hell is the matter with me this week. I ain't been feeling up for doing a damn thing. I have been motivated for zero. I only did laundry because I noticed that I was running low on towels. I would have not done that too if I thought that I could have gotten away with it. I just unfortunately like the whole idea of fresh, clean towels. Otherwise, there would be none. I got to tell y'all, I ain't finna do a damn thing this week, and I'm okay with that. There was a time that I would beat myself up. I would be all upset with myself because I'm on this lazy shit. Why can't you get yourself together, Case? What's the matter with you out here? You gotta pull it together. I was more concerned about what it looked like rather than what it was. Whatever. And I'm through with that shit. I'm too old for that. Whatever. I think I have outgrown giving a shit. Anyway, let me tell y'all about that conversation that went down last week with the divine priestess. Y'all, she is the shit, the shit, the shit. I love her, y'all. She's the shit. And every time it's this, it's something about, I don't know, this one right here, you know what I'm saying? I think we kind of got a lot of the same energy, like, seriously. But when we get together and we start talking, our exchange is kind of good. And I'm not saying that we always get each other, but she's one of those sisters that will think that she'll, I can feel that this is the stupidest thing that I've ever heard in my life. And she will ride alongside with me anyway. However, this discussion we had last night was on the lover's energy, and this is all about our relationships, and it definitely went down. I am not going to review the play by play, but it was a powerful and enlightening discussion. Y'all got to help me out sometimes. I can't talk. But it was really a powerful and enlightening discussion. And let me tell you, this cipher has really been helpful for me. And it has been my intention, my hope, my prayer that those of us that are spiritually minded can have a safe place to express their thoughts, their ideas on how they experience the energies in this world, the messages that spirit is delivering to them, the things that they are working on. There's some real gangsters out here in these streets, for real, for real. And the cipher is a platform that'll hold space for all those cats to come through and get down. And we ain't got to agree. We ain't got to see it all the same way. And me, I'm one of those folks. Sometimes I am firmly on my square about my position, but I ain't mad at you for not agreeing with me. Not at all. And that's what makes it good. Because we is so concerned with people agreeing. You ain't got to agree. And this is the perfect opportunity, the perfect space for folks that just see things differently to be able to have that space to speak their truth, to call it like they see it, and to do the damn thing. And I'm here for that shit. I love it. We got so much in this world where in our lives, in society, that we're not really encouraged to be true and authentic to who we are. We get so concerned with what it looks like rather than what it is. And it's unfortunate is the word that comes up. It's unfortunate because variety is the spice of life. And when we start really showing up in our authenticity, being who we are, speaking our truth, it might not be a popular opinion. Folks might not see it the way you see it. But there's a lightness, there's a freedom, there's a liberation type of vibration to being true to who you are, to speaking your truth. It is so liberating. I spent so much time in my life focused on other people's perception, OPP. There was a song back in the 90s. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. I liked it, that jam. Anyway, I'll go off on different thoughts. That's, what it is. Other people's perception. Worrying about what in the hell somebody else thought. For what? For why? We get ourselves focused on what it looks like or what we perceive it would look like to somebody else. And when we focus on what it looks like rather than what it is, we down with OPP. Other people's perception in this particular thing, a song, something else. You're going to have to Google that shit if you ain't hit. Anyway. And Spirit's really been dealing with that energy and the messages that I've been getting as far as all that shit's concerned. And the coyote come up. The coyote comes through about paradoxes or paradox, whatever. Like being able to find solutions out of problems. Trust in divine detours. When shit don't work out the way you thought it would. But then at the end of the day, it was the best thing ever. Rejection being your protection. Shit like that. And I felt that. And then the cow came up. Some money might be coming my way. I hope so. I've been waiting on this money for quite some time now. I ain't broke, but I'm waiting on this money. Anyway, it would make me feel better to get this money. Hold on, let me see what if I can find the cow, if it's in my book. Yes, it is. It says, this is a very nourishing time for you, so be willing to partake in all that is offered to me. To you too, because this is collective. I know that this came through right before when I started meditating on this, but I take everything for me. However, I'm obligated to give this to everybody, the collective. And this is a time for mending and healing the relationship with your mother, whether she's alive or passed into the spirit world. And you may wish to look at the Hindu goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, which means being assured of your abundance. In the year of the rabbit, I almost forgot about that shit. Happy New Year from the Chinese book. And that's all about money up, money up, money up. I am excited. I've been waiting on this money. I've been expecting this money, and I've been counting on this money. And so I'm going to be working with the goddess Lakshmi. I hope you do the same. We go do the damn thing. You know, my dear brother, the Quantum Lion, was doing a little work with Lakshmi on her sister's behalf. And I appreciate that brother for that. I love him. He's a good dude. Anyway, I wanted to deliver the message the Spirit had given to me when I was messing around with my Kim deck and didn't really have anything to share with anybody. I said, what the hell I'm going on? I ain't got shit to share. And I guess now that I realize that I guess I'm always had something to share because, you know, this divine oracle message it is what it is. And so we really want to look at this whole energy that we get into of what it looks like versus what it is. Shout out again, hold up real quick, to the Sirius Cipher, man. Wow. We got into a nice little discussion on that energy, the divine priestess and myself. You know, folks show up when they can, and it's appreciated. We'll talk about the Hierophant energy. And that's why I'm making this whole connection, because that popped up in my mind when I started thinking about that, what it looks like versus what it is. Because that Hierophant energy, it kind of deals with that. How it's supposed to be, what the tradition is, the teaching, how it should go, how it ought to be, all of that conversation, right? And us really being in our spiritual wisdom, you know, looking at conformity, morality and ethics and all of that type of shit. It's subjective, but we get caught up on the teaching and how we thought it's supposed to be. And shout out to them brothers that just flashed in my head. Them brothers that be standing outside with a bullhorn, telling folks the way to go, whatever. But shout out to them because they mean well. And I know that. And so with that, you know, we gotta show these brothers love, them sisters love if they out there. I ain't seen no sisters signing out there and everything. I don't know if they will allow that. I don't know what their true cipher is because I ain't spend that much time trying to study that whole Hebrew Israelite type of groove and everything. They speak some real truth, you know, but they also got some stuff that give me a side eye, you know, just a lot of old school tradition is from what it sounds like. I don't know because I ain't studying it. So, you know, don't get me there. But I don't give a damn. Come for me. I want to see you. Whatever. I got it for you, baby. Anyway, what it looks like versus what it is. I got that. We got to come up out of that bullshitting ass energy. Let's be real. Now, I ain't studying. I don't know what your tradition is. But if you think that your truth is right and exact and 100%, and somebody else that's living different than you is less than, you might want to reconsider your position, period. Because it seems like you might be worried about more about what it looks like rather than what it is. And when we get caught up in that damn energy, we end up putting on this bullshitting ass masquerade that tells us that we got to show up and where the expectation is, so that nobody will give a perception of us. So nobody will disapprove. Whatever. So when I was dealing with my Kim deck, Spirit gave me some messages, and I wanted to talk about that because I got some of the cards. I got the throat chakra card. that came up. And when that card comes up, this is all about us being able to speak and live our truth and face our fears. This this throat chakra energy. I've been doing a lot of heart chakra work, you know. It was like back when I got saved and I was crying all the time and shit. I'm on that, you know, angels, all of that, you know, whatever. But the throat chakra energy is about facing your fears, about dealing what it is and saying fuck what it looked like. You ain't worried about what it looks like. And in the search of happiness, we go into this illusion that tells us that we need to be something other than ourselves. We change the way we show up, and we go about doing things that demonstrate our insecurities. And if we are in tune enough, receptive enough to take a closer look, we'll see it. We code switch. We show up different. We buy things that we can't afford. And we party through our hard-earned money. And throw it up in the air and make it rain to give the impression that we are successful. We want it to look that way. We worrying about what it looks like rather than what it is. You rent your house, throwing your money in the air, whatever. Your car ain't paid off, but you can make it rain. I'm just saying. Do successful people live in fear though? You winning with this bullshitting ass game. Do successful people really live in fear? Are successful people afraid to show up and be unapologetically yourself? Why can't you be that nigga at home that you are at work? Why can't you bring that person to work? Now, we ain't saying that you show up smoking a blunt with your hat cock ace deuce. We saying that why can't you just show up and do you? You know that there's a time and place for everything. But we more concerned about what it looks like rather than what it is. Because truly, truly, truly who you are in your heart, you from around the way, you down to earth, you that person, but you showing up as this person, whatever. See, this is where the struggle is right here. We struggle in doing that. We fear rejection and vulnerability. So we go into survival mode, where this is a game of holding back our true feelings. And then at the end of the day, it makes us weaker because we don't want to do the work on ourselves. We don't want to be uncomfortable because we know that fire, just going straight through that fire. And so when the goddess Sekhmet came through on that Kim death, encouraging us to go straight on through the fire. We got to strengthen our gangster and be okay with whatever consequences might come our way for being ourselves. See, when she shows up, she's letting us know about what that fire is. Fire is a pure fire. It purifies. Pressure makes diamonds. And to suffer for the truth in who we are will make us so goddamn gangster that other people's assessment won't even matter. Fuck around and they respect you at the end of the day. Even if they decide to reject you, baby. Because we already know that rejection is protection. But if we be true to who we are, right here and right now, moment by moment, minute by minute, second by second, in the present moment, we create a rhythm that is that gets us programmed to start making automatic decisions. You ain't got to sit around and fuck around and worry about nobody's goddamn assessment. To be just who you are right then. No plan, no rehearsal. We showing up true. We have no fallback and no default plan. Default is your truth. We got to trust and be patient with ourselves and our capacity to make the changes within ourselves. And being present allows us to go with the flow of our truth so that the changes we make are influenced from within and not for outside approval without. That is authentic courage. So then, when we doing our work, when we working our magic, when we doing that shit we do, we doing the right things for the right reasons. When we going to work, when we operating in the streets, when we conversating, and I know that ain't a word, when we conversing with people, whatever. For the people that's worried about what it look like rather than what it is. We doing the right things for the right reasons. We do love spells and all of this protection. Because that's our vibration. But when our vibration is so high, demons can't get to us. I tell this to folks all the time. See, I used to be concerned with all of that shit too. Not no bullshit ass love spell. Stop that. That's somebody else's problem. And luckily, I ain't really, maybe 20 years ago, that would have been something I might have been thinking about. I've been fortunate. I think I've suffered long enough. But a bullshit ass love spell, what it looks like versus what it is. We forgetting rejection is protection. We want to put a love spell on some sucker motherfucker who could give two shits about us. Don't have the capacity to be faithful. He looking good. Whatever. We wasting our time on some rooster head that'll run through all your friends. Whatever. Love spell on this fool. Because they got their eye wandering somewhere else. She looking at the dude at the gym. He talking to the chick at work. Let me put this love spell on here, make this tight. You done lost your mind. You done lost your mind. That's me saying that. That ain't spirit. I put that in myself. You done lost your mind. Back to spirit. When your vibration is so high, demons can't see you, fam. Demons can't see you. And we don't feel desperate enough to manipulate. We release moving in fear. And we move empowered. And when we're truly in our power, our work is that much more effective. The light shines bright. The work gets right. Because we ain't doing it for no punk ass egoic approval. We got to release this emotional baggage and shit. All of this attachment to the outcome, focusing on what it looks like. What folk might think about that shit. And really start to hold space for what's true in our hearts. And when we start to connect to the star player within ourselves, those inner vibes, that healing starts taking place. When we tap into our inner vibes, that healing starts taking place, and we look back at the time when we were going through those changes. We won't be so focused on that shit no more, because we recognize that all of the stuff that we did was all a part of that growth process. This is when you start knowing that you healed. You start getting in tune with your inner, oh, that don't feel right. I don't think so. I'm going to have to pass on that offer. That don't mean there's no love. That means you showing yourself some. Cycles of growth. That's what healed people do. And then when you're going through these changes, these dilemmas, trials and tribulations, they show up. We get tempted to fall back into those old behaviors. And so when the goddess Sekhmet showed up talking about you got to push on through, stand in the fire, it purifies. Because this is where you get that gangster. It strengthens you. And then you able to navigate all of this energy. And it's not going to bother you so much. And so then when you start getting into a space where you start feeling uncomfortable, the more you deal with it, the easier it gets. But you must be in a place where you face your fears and you live your truth. You got to do that shit. It is absolutely positively time. I used to think that it was okay to code switch. I came up with this completely different entity for the corporate world. I'm here to tell you. And this was a person that didn't have a bad day, didn't shed a tear, didn't find no fun, no humor, no nothing. I walked the line. I'm about the business. I ain't got time for the bullshit. I'm focused on what's the agenda. I adjusted my speech. I shifted my approach. The code switch. Fuck them. We spend too much, those of us in the African diaspora, the melanated individuals I'm speaking to right now. We spend too much time worrying about what the fuck white people is thinking. We let these people rent space in our head. And I understand the history. Please, let's not do this. But we let that shit rent so much space in our head. We got to pretend we somebody the hell else. Ain't it time to let that shit go? Ain't it time? We so focused on what they think. How we being perceived. Oh, you can't do that. They gonna think all niggas is fucked up. You better stop that shit. Fuck them. Fuck them. See, we keep giving them all of this fucking power and not recognizing ours. You lose your sovereignty when you got to show up and pretend you're someone else. We lose a piece of who we are. And I ain't got no, listen, I did this shit too. So, hey, we here to heal. We got to face our truth. We got to keep it $150 out here in these streets, because if we don't, if we play this bullshitting game, if we sit around and act like, oh, that ain't me, I'm not doing it for that reason, whatever. You get to live in that world if that's where you want to be. I promise you that. But I'm trying to help you to ascend so you can move past this bullshitting ass energy, because this is what's holding you back. These are vibrations that keep us in poverty. Whatever. I'm through with it. I want to let you all know that I love you very much and I want you to win. And this is that hard truth we need out here in these streets so that we can make this shit right for ourselves. You want to know why we can't fucking win? Why we can't get to where we want to be just quite yet? Because we out here fucking around pretending. We pretending we on a vegan diet so we can impress this bullshitting ass dude. If he can't accept you for where you at, then I think you need to come up with another game plan. We pretend we like shit so that we can impress this girl. If she can't fucking deal with you for where you at, then what the fuck is you really doing, fam? Let's keep it a buck. You got a man that want to sit here and knock at you just a little bit because you in your truth, you being who you are, and that ain't the way that make him feel comfortable. What in the fuck is you really doing? Can they accept you right where you are, who you are? There ain't nothing the fuck wrong with you. You ain't too masculine. You ain't too feminine. You ain't too black. You don't talk too white. You don't act too niggotry. If this is who you are, that's who you got to show up as. Fuck what they talking. We gotta stop this bullshit. Well, they gonna think you crazy. I know I spent a lot of time spinning that thought around in my head. I don't give a fuck no more. I had to add that no more. Yeah, no more. I don't give a shit. And I'm hoping that we can all get into this space of truth, start facing our fears, because it's a scary situation, right? Not knowing what the outcome is going to be. But let's get it out here in these streets. Let's show up for real, for real. Let's shock the world out here in this motherfucker. Everybody's sitting around at the table agreeing and you ain't feeling it. Let's just say it. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. I know everybody disapproves. I should be on board too. Or maybe I'm going to just sit in the back and I ain't going to say nothing. No, I don't agree with that shit. I don't see it that way. You get to see it differently. Rejection is your protection. Peace and light. Ooh, hold up. I'm messing up. But yeah, rejection is your protection, fam. For real, for real. Peace and light. Peace and love.